Watch out for a sec, boys.
Yep.
Before I ever hit that stage, I will close my eyes. And I'll hear the crowd, and I'll feel the band in my ears, and I'll get goosebumps. Then when I walk out there in front of thousands of people, it slows down. You know, I feel this tremendous sense of freedom, and I feel like I could actually fly. Another summer day has come and gone away in Paris or Rome. I wanna go home. Yeah. You know what? When you go and make shows, I mean, when I do, I move a lot. I dance a lot, I'm grooving. So it's really important to be able to breathe. You know what I mean? And be in shape enough where you can get through phrases, or else it's tough. I've had my run, I'm done. It was always a dream to become a professional artist. And I feel like people have entrusted me to be a protector of the Great American Songbook. Hey, how are you, man? Good. Yeah. And I'm so fortunate that I get to interpret these amazing songs and perform that music all over the world. So the interesting part, Bruce, is that same day you're talking about me being in New York, okay?
I know.
5 hours away. And the day after that, you're talking about me being in Rome.
Yep.
And 2 days after that, you're talking about me going back so I can land just in time to shoot The Lives of the Voice.
No, they're moving it back.
Oh, they're going to move it back for The Voice?
That will not happen.
Oh, my God. That'd be amazing.
That was easy.
I didn't know that did that.
It sure does.
That was easy.
Well, there we go. I think I'd always been an entertainer. And very early on as a little boy, I told everyone who I would be. And this is what my job would be. But the soundtrack of my life was given to me by my grandfather. He was like my soulmate, you know? And he just loved music. And this music, you know, the standards of Sinatra, Al Martino, Elvis Presley. He had an old record player, and we'd sit cross-legged on the carpet and listen to just thousands of songs, man. And I just fell in love with it. How could you not?
I'd unravel every riddle for any individual.
With that old school singing, stylistically, we sing in a different way.
With the thoughts I'd be thinking I could be.
With pop music, people will rely a lot on their vibrato. Your vibrato is shaking your voice. Technically, you would sing, say, it had to be you. It had to be you. Very poppy, modern. The old school way would be, it had to be you. It had to be you. You can hear it's a little smoother. There's a lot less vibrato. But that's a technique of me listening to a million different singers, of me stealing as much as I could so that I could find myself. When I was 16, I started taking gigs at nightclubs where you had, 50 to 150 people showing up. They didn't come to see me. But I loved the challenge of turning the room. And I just loved it. I knew by, 10 minutes in, I could get them. There was something that felt so easy and right about having a relationship with an audience where I felt like this innate ability that I could communicate with them. But while I was working the clubs, I wasn't making enough money to survive. And so I would sing in the winters and then come and work in the summer on my father's fishing vessel. I lived so much of my life on a ship like this you know, with you know, a crew of 6. It's a hard job. And sometimes we wouldn't see land for 2-3 months at a time. But I'd be standing up there, steering and daydreaming and visualizing superstardom. And I'd be singing my heart out, you know? Singing Van Morrison and Louis Armstrong and Louis Prima. And every day they tell me, shut up, Mike, shut up. But to be like my heroes, I really wanted a record deal. For years, every record company would say, we just don't see this kind of music being financially feasible. And it's very fringe, and good luck. But then I got a gig at a wedding in Montreal, and one of the guests was David Foster, one of the greatest music producers in the business. After I finished, David came up to me and he said, hey, young man, you are something. And he said, how'd you like to fly down to Los Angeles? And maybe we can start figuring out some stuff to do together. And I said, like, oh my God. Later that year, I got signed by Warner Records.
So there it is, Michael Bublé, first
There she is.
international disc. Are you a bit of a chameleon with your voice? Because I hear a bit of Frank in there, and then I hear a totally different guy on different songs. You kind of have that ability, don't you?
You know, I'm just trying to steal from the best, you know, and just try to add my own thing, because I think that if I tried to be something I wasn't, I think that the public would find out so fast,
In a heartbeat.
and I'd be toast.
I thought I had made it, but I hadn't come close. The album didn't hit in America right away. And so I remember my manager calling me and saying, apparently they like the record in South Africa. Apparently they like the album in the Philippines, in Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Singapore. Would you get up and go? What would you think about that? So I took off across the whole world.
He went everywhere. And a lot of guys don't like doing that. It's a lot of work. But he wanted to be a global artist. And I think he knew if he got a shot, he could make it. All he needed was a chance to do it.
Please welcome my next guest, Michael Bublé.
First England blew up, and then it was Germany and Spain and France and Japan. And then it was America. After all that, it sort of came back. I was playing arenas, and then it was stadiums. And I found this massive success.
Michael's got 5 Grammys, and he's sold over 70 million records. And it's because he's a great singer. And people like great voices singing great songs. Okay, you don't have to be a genius.
You mind if I lace up while you ask me?
Yeah. So where are we?
We are in the basement. This way?
Yeah.
Let's go. This is kind of like my oasis where, you know, I come and escape and just, you know, chill out a little bit. You know, I get to live my childhood dreams out here and pretend I got drafted so I could be an NHL player every single day.
Woo! Chicos, let's do it! The hockey player #1.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Vancouver Giant, Elias Bublé! You know, honestly, one of the great joys of my life is being able to come back to Burnaby. Vida, there it is! Oh, she's down! Because home is where the heart is. Home is where my kids are and my family are.
Oh my God, you're so fast! You're too fast!
I'm so thankful for the success I've had all over the world and this amazing life it's given me. But for many years, I feel like I lived with almost a filter. And the filter had me living through my ego self, you know, my ambition, the things I wanted, the power, the fame, you know, the success. But that changed when my son Noah was 3 and he was diagnosed with cancer, and it just shattered our family. It was the unthinkable, and it's the unthinkable for many families all over the world. But the doctors were fabulous, and people prayed for us, and thank God my son is okay. But what it did was it changed my life. And for the first time ever, I understood in context what my real priorities were. to appreciate and have gratitude for every single moment. Having the opportunity to communicate that and share not only myself, but my humor, my music, my life. And really, you know, I found that it's given me a deeper and more personal connection with my audience.
If you think when you write to me, to my socials, if you wonder, if you go like, ah, does he see that? Yeah, I saw it.
I love what I do. I love who I do it for. And I feel really so fortunate that I get to continue the legacy of my heroes.
I got to go home, everybody. Let me go home. I'm just too far from where you are, and I gotta go.
And let me tell you, standing in front of 30,000 beautiful souls who are singing along with you and laughing and dancing and falling in love, this is a pleasure. This is a privilege. And you know what, really, when it comes down to it, my legacy will never be what I did or said. It will be how I've made people feel.
Yeah, I'm coming back.